Thank you, Madam Speaker. A point of personal privilege.
Delegate Cox, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. 2 years ago, I stood on the floor of the House of Delegates and gave a speech that was very near and dear to my heart. The circumstances were very unique. And in that speech, I said that as long as I have access to a microphone, I will promise to speak out. So today, I'm here to speak out again. 8 years ago, when I gave the speech, it was 54,600,549. The last time I spoke, the number was 61,012,997. Today, the number is 62,502,904. 62,502,904. That's currently the estimate for roughly the number of abortions conducted since 1973. Now, let me be the first person to say that Pat on this issue. And I know people in this body feel very differently. In the past, I've told you about my 4 very special sons, Lane, Carter, Blake, and Cameron, and how special they are to me, and how often I lay awake at night wondering who else had a Lane, Carter, Blake, or Cameron in that 62 million. And 2 years ago, I told you about Monica, a wonderful young lady whose mother was encouraged to have an abortion and thankfully did not. Now, Monica serves in our armed forces. She's married, and one day she wants to have a family of her own. How many Monicas have we lost? I don't know the answer to that question. But this year, I want to do it a little bit differently. This year, I'm not intentionally telling you a story. I'm not telling you about a successful young woman who has made an indelible impact on society. And I'm not telling you about one of my 4 boys and the amazing lives they lead. I'm not telling you a story in honor of the untold stories, the stories that never really got written, the lives that were never lived, the promise of life that was never fulfilled. You know, we've all lost a lot this year in our country. A terrible pandemic has made us all appreciate loss a little bit more and what it means to lose someone. But how does a society ever place a value on someone we never had a chance to know? And one of my favorite books in the Bible is the book of Psalms. And one of my favorite verses in Psalms is verse 139. And it really comes to mind today. It says, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days were ordained for me. They were written in your book before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them." How vast is the sum of those 62,502,904 unlived lives? You know, I've heard my colleagues in this body often talk about being on the right side of history. And boy, I got to tell you, I pray often for the wisdom to know what that is, just to have the moral clarity of knowing what that is. But in this case, it's not for my sake. I'm not interested in making sure my name is on the right side of some ledger. It's for the sake of the 62,502,904 unfulfilled lives. I truly believe with all my heart that one day society will look at that number and go, wow, how did we let that happen? How did people come down on the wrong side of history on that issue? Because it's just so fundamental, so much of the core of who we are. So believe me, I'm not standing here today to declare that I, Kirk Cox, have the infinite wisdom of knowing what is right or wrong. I don't pretend that. But I do stand here to say the 62,502,904 is a number that should shake each and every one of us to the core. It should make us incredibly uncomfortable. In a year when we all witnessed a lot of loss, I hope you will take a moment to pause and consider those who we will never have the chance to know. And that should make us think long and hard about the untold stories. And I'll close with this. I said it 2 years ago. I'll never stop fighting for the promise of life. As long as I have a microphone, I'll speak because they cannot. Thank you, Madam Speaker.